So they put us on the spot. So I hope you all can enjoy this. They asked for me and Chris and David to do a little skit, and it may be a little funny, it may be a little serious, but I hope you all get something out of it. So.
Hello, sir. We're looking for the pastor here.
I'm the pastor.
I thought you were the janitor. Bless your heart.
Well, since you're the pastor here, listen, we've decided that we're going to just make this our home church. And me and Buffy, we've made millions selling frozen pickles to Eskimos. And we think we can pump a lot of money into your church. And, but this message you preached this morning, we just have a few issues. Listen, we don't want to hear stuff on adultery, drinking, and things like that. We want to hear something about that's really in the Bible, like cleanliness is next to godliness.
That's not in the Bible.
Oh, but yeah, it is. Everybody knows cleanliness next to godliness is in the Bible.
No.
Listen, we got all kinds of money we can give you. Listen, we can pump all kinds of money. We can make this place spectacular.
And we want fog and colored lights.
Well, I mean, what you saw this morning is kind of how we usually do service. We, if you get offended by me preaching on the blood or anything of that nature, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to deviate from what my ministry is. So maybe you need to look for a different church, or just come back and see if it's for you next time. I don't know what to tell you.
Are you sure, son? Because it's not about the spirit, it's about the production.
And the experience.
No, it's about the Spirit of the Lord. It's about the love of God and what God does through us. It's not about the production.
Well, I guess he doesn't want our money, Buffy. I guess we're just going to have to move on and find us somewhere else to go.
We'll just go elsewhere.
See you.
I don't know if I can deviate from the gospel just to have money in the church. That's kind of not productive, I don't think. Just because somebody wants certain things certain ways and they have money and influence, usually don't make me change my mind.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
I just wanted to come meet with you for a minute. You got some time?
Yes, I've got plenty of time.
Well, listen, brother, I've got all kinds of good ideas for our church. Let me put my box down. Is that okay? Don't let it fall on anything. Let me hey, Pastor. Listen now, I've been thinking about a lot of things here lately, and I was going to share some things with you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You got a minute?
Yes.
Have you got a minute?
Yeah, I can take a minute.
Okay. Well, now listen, I've been over at Flea World, and there was a brother over there. I got my hair in my eyes a little bit. There was a brother over there who had a few things he was selling, and I thought, you know what? Our church could do this.
And we always need to find ways to raise money.
Well, that's good. Listen, brother, I found this. That boy at the flea market said this is the very salt that Jesus used when he gave that little bit of thing in the Bible, said you are the salt of the world. He said this is the salt shaker he held out. I bought this for $1,000. What a deal. And I was going to gift this to you, my dear brother.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now listen, that same guy, he told me of another guy over at the Flea Land over in London area. There's a man over there, he had some manna that came down from heaven, and he was selling it for $500. That's a steal, I thought. So I bought me some of this manna that fell down from heaven. Listen, it's still fresh because it's glory manna that fell down from heaven years ago. $500. That's sweet. That's good, isn't it? And listen, I bought this from a guy over in Greer. He said this was the biggest fingernail toe of Thomas the Apostle. $2,000. That's a good deal. I thought it was too. So listen. Oh, and I bought some of this holy water. They said this was there when Jesus was baptized. They took this out of the water right here. It's holy water, holy H2O. I thought I'd get a little swig of it. Oh, I got a little bit on me there. So listen, here's my idea. Are you ready for my idea?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Now picture this. Are you picturing?
Okay, yeah.
I don't think you're picturing, brother. Are you picturing?
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta get a picturing face though. You gotta squint. Picture. Listen, now here's what I thought. While you was preaching, because you're a good anointed man of God, I believe. Like when you was preaching, I felt like after you get done preaching, I was gonna get this ruler and I was gonna get the sweat right off of your brow. And we was gonna put it in some cups, brother. Like this. And the more anointed you preach, the more the sweat's gonna be worth it, right? So maybe $100 a cup on some of the messages you preach. It's real powerful. And then some of them, when you, sometimes it gets a little dry. So we wouldn't sell them for too much. So we just get this like, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't got much sweat right now. You need to preach a little harder, brother. We put this here. I feel like, no, listen, we're trying to pay for this building over here, brother. My hair's getting in my eyes. And I feel like this would be a good thing. Help us pay for that building.
So you're wanting to
Sell sweat.
sell my sweat?
Yeah. Pastor sweat.
And how much are you wanting to sell this for?
Well, I just, you wasn't listening to me now, was you?
I missed that part.
Did you? $100 for a good message.
A good
One of the good messages. When you get real anointed
So,
and
how
you
often
spit
does
on
that
these
happen?
crowd. Oh, spit. That'd be another good one. If we get some spit, when you spit across the crowd, that flakes right off. You can just scrape it off and sell it.
Yeah.
I thought that made, now if you didn't preach real good, maybe $20 a cup or something. Does that sound all right,
So
Pastor?
everything's worth something.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. We're just gonna make a little money on the Lord. You know, the Lord would be pleased with that, I'm sure. In the Bible, it says, "Thou art pleased, Lord." The Bible says.
No.
He said his sweat became his great money. Is that what it said in the?
That's what you said.
Well, listen, bro. I'm gonna take all my belongings and stuff, but you'll be thinking and praying a lot about that.
I will. I'll think real hard about here's your total.
Oh yes, this is a good rep. Oh, now here's, listen, brother. You're supposed to keep this all. That was my gift to you. Don't offend me, brother. Thou hast not been offended in many things.
I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Whew. He had some great ideas for money, didn't he? He spent a lot of money too.
Woo! Hallelujah! Let me tell you something, Brother Scotty. Man, I tell you what, we had some mighty fine picking in our grin in this morning.
Yeah, we did. He was real good.
Amen, son. I tell you what, I love this church, but there's just one thing I want to suggest, Brother Scotty.
Okay, for sure.
You need a little bit more far.
Fire in my messages.
Far, son. You know, far. Like the Bible says.
Okay.
Heaps of coals of fire shall come out of the preacher's mouth.
Okay.
I mean, come on. I mean, you know, we just need a little, we need to step it up just a little bit.
Okay.
If you don't know how, I can show you. You care if I preach just a little bit this morning?
Go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
praise
Maybe-
God,
maybe
you're
you
a
can
good
show.
man, Brother Scotty. You're a good man. Let me show you, Brother Scotty, how to do this. Just first, you start out with a good strut like this. And the only thing you got to do, you know, you ain't got to know a whole lot, you know? It's because people don't read their Bibles no more, no. You got to know a whole lot, Brother Scotty. He's testament to that. All you got to do is be able to say, God, in 3 syllables. God. Now, let me show you. Here, turn your Bibles with me this morning. Boy, there's a good crowd out here this morning. You all looking good, To Philippines 1981. also the last time I changed hairdos. Philippines 1985 says, the Lord told Moses, get my children up out of the land of Israel. So Moses took the children right out of Israel, and he led them down to the waterside. And Moses came to the water and he said, part! And the waters parted. And the children of Israel went through on dry ground. And when they was going across that dry ground, Brother Scotty, do you know what they sang?
What they say?
Here come David and his men marching to Jerusalem. They went down to Jerusalem, Brother Scotty. And what did they see? But the ark. Because there was no more water. So the ark was sitting there on dry ground. David and all his men said, don't worry about it. We shall take the ark into the city. So David and his men picked that boat up and they took it into the city. But while they was on their way, first they met a bear. It was as mean as my wife. But David took his bare hand and he whooped that bear. Then there came a lion down and he whooped that lion too. Took him right by the tail. Slung him right straight out of the city. After he took that lion out, he went on down and he said, I think I go fishing. We got the boat, why not? Let's go fishing. So he went down to the water's edge and he met Noah. And there Noah said, you know what, let's put 2 animals 2 by 2 on this here boat. So they got all the animals all the way from the kangaroo to the elephant. But they was missing one thing, Brother Scotty. They was missing a billy goat. But they looked up, and what happened? Here comes Shadrach, Meshach, and a billy goat. So they loaded up all in the boat, and they went on the waters of the Jordan. And Moses stepped out on those waters, and he pulled his boat out there. They weren't catching no fish, Brother Scotty. Now I know some of this might be rubbing your eyes further the wrong way, but y'all just want to turn that cat around. He said, why don't you cast your lines out on the right side? So Noah took his line and he threw it out there on the right side, Brother Scotty. And what did he get a hold of but a whale? And it swallowed him right up. Did y'all know this story? And it took him and it puked him out on another bank. And he said, I am now on dry ground. But he needed a fire. So he built himself a fire, and now that fire, you know what it came up? A slithering snake. He bit him right on the hand. What did he do? But he took that snake and he threw it in the fire. Now don't worry sorry, y'all. I'm about to close. I won't keep you that long. I'll tell you like Zsa Zsa Gabor told her 9 husbands. I ain't keeping you too long. I don't care if you believe it or not. I really don't care because it's the truth. It's the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me. Learned that the last time I went to jail. And then you end it like this, Brother Scotty. Real good. You have to sing a song that's got meaning. You know, something that's going to touch people. That's got meaning. Here, I'll show you. All right, now at church, we're going to have an altar call. And if y'all would, you come and pray to this song here because it's so good. It just touches my heart every time I hear it. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through, they show all of the beauty, but oh, I can see the truth. That's how you do it, Brother Scotty. Man, I tell you what, if you take my suggestions, we're going to have the biggest church in the whole wide state of Kentucky.
I appreciate the comments. Phew, this pastoring stuff's rough. Having to listen to all these opinions.
Hello, Pastor.
Hello.
Brother, I was just wanting to let you know, anything you need, Pastor, I'll do whatever you need, what you feel like I can do to help the church and do anything that you feel in your heart that I can help with. And I'm praying for you every day because I know that we've got some good things going on here at the church, and I want you to know that I care about you, I'm supporting you, I'm behind you, and we're praying for it.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, Pastor.
Appreciate it.
Bless you.
Thank you. You know, we need more people like this last guy. We need more people that's willing to have the pastor's back, willing to go the extra mile, willing to say whatever you need, I'll do it. Don't have to pay me anything. Don't have to give me any accolades. Whatever it is, I'll do it. And you know, some of those other skits there, very true. Maybe not in this church, but they're very true in other churches. If you don't preach the right thing, or if you don't make them happy, they want to take their money and go somewhere else. You know, they tell you, you're preaching too much on the blood. Take that cross down. It offends me. And all this other stuff. And you know, a pastor really goes through a whole lot that none of us really even know. There's many sleepless nights that Brother Lonnie stays up praying that so-and-so wasn't at church. Is everything okay? You know, and I know in the last 10, 12 years, there's always those shoes that you feel like you have to walk in. How many knows we had a pastor before that was an awesome man of God? But you know what? I think today we have an awesome man of God. I think we have. You know, there's been times that I just needed to go talk to him, and you know what he did? He said, "There's a seat. Talk to me." Some of those conversations ain't easy. But you know what? He was right there for me when I needed him. I don't just consider him my pastor. I consider him my friend. I consider him the leader of this church body. And almost everybody that comes here says it, that the love is here. They feel it when they walk in the door. They feel the love, they feel the compassion, And you know what that is? That's a direct reflection of these people, what they've learned from their pastor. If you're not taught love and you're not taught compassion, guess what? You're not going to be compassionate. You're not going to be loving. And so many times people take their pastor for granted. You know I've probably not told him how much I appreciate him enough, but I do. And you know, I actually printed off some stats about pastors. I'll read these. 75% of pastors report being extremely stressed or highly stressed. 75% of pastors. 40% report serious conflict with church members at least one time a month. 78% were forced to resign, and 63% have been forced to resign multiple times. 91% have experienced some sort of burnout in the ministry, and 18% say they have fried to the crisp right now. Burnout. 80% believe their pastoral ministry have negatively affected their family, and 33% says it's an outright hazard for their family. 80% of ministers' spouses feel left out and unappreciated. Those are just some stats about pastors. I don't know about you all, but I don't want our pastor to feel that way. I want him to feel like he's appreciated. I want him to feel like that. You know, I've heard stories about the pastors having to be the one that opens service, takes up offering, sings all the songs, and does all the preaching. And they can't ever miss. You know what? I think this is a blessed church. And I think we should let our pastor feel free to do any of that stuff, but also be able to sit back in that crowd and just come up and minister to us too, because that's what we need. But you know, I appreciate you, Lonnie, Pam. They're one. And if anybody knows them, they know they're one. They're definitely a person that I look up to as far as how to live my life, how to treat my wife, and everything else. And where you see one, you'll see the other. Unless they're shopping for stuff for the church, then Pam will go. And Lonnie will be making sure Jason does it right. But you know, I appreciate them, and not only do I appreciate them, but I appreciate what they stand for. I've got 3 guys that I consider just like brothers that are their sons, and that's a direct reflection of how they've raised them. You know, I've been around the world with Chris. Me and Eric grew up together. Been around the world a little bit with Eric too. And Jeff, well, he don't say a whole lot, but he knows I still love him. And you know that the way those boys are is because the way they were raised. And the way they were raised is the right way to raise someone. And I know my wife is a niece. I guess I'm a nephew-in-law. But it didn't matter if I was or not. I still say the stuff I'm saying. So we need to pray for our pastor. We need to make sure that he understands just how much we appreciate him and understand just how much his ministry and this church means to us. You know, this week's kind of been a little bit rough. Tim can contest to that. And you know the thing about it? As long as I stay with the company I'm with, my company left this week. No longer going to be open after 2019 December. And you know what they told me? They said, you can have a job with Ingersoll Rand anywhere in the world. All you have to do is apply for it. But guess what? I can't leave this place. This is home. This is home. And if they told me I could go to Lynn Haven, Florida, go to Columbia, South Carolina, go to Clarksville, Tennessee, or anywhere else, it would be hard for me to move because this is home. And this church is home. And I would miss it. And you know what? The pastor is one of the reasons that I'd miss it. We need to appreciate our pastor.